Good morning. This is Ryan from the National Weather Service here in Wakefield with a look at the weather for the week coming up. Plenty of breezy today behind last night's cold front, especially breezy near the coast through much of today with winds gusting potentially as high as 35 miles per hour. Especially along the coast, but farther inland, we could see 20 to 25 mile per hour gusts this afternoon. Much colder tonight. Temperatures near freezing for a good chunk of our area, mostly along and west of I-95, but also extending up into the northern neck and portions of the eastern shore. Next chance for some beneficial rainfall comes Thursday evening into Friday ahead of the next cold front. As of now, it looks like the precipitation totals are going to average between a quarter and 1 inch, but we could see some locations that get a little above 1 inch. We'll have more info on that as that event gets closer. As far as marine weather, we do have small craft advisories in effect for all of our area waters, and many of those extend into Wednesday as the gusty winds continue along the coast. High pressure is in control of the region today with the cold front moving offshore. Similar picture expected for Wednesday, remaining dry, but as we get into Thursday, the front across the Midwest starts to approach the area and we get some rainfall into some cool, dry air at the surface. So Thursday looks like it might be kind of a raw day with temperatures, at least in portions of our Piedmont counties, struggling to get out of the 40s. That event should come to an end on Friday with potentially some precip lingering near the coast as we go through at least the morning hours of Friday before things pull offshore. And the weekend looks dry and pleasant with the slow warming trend and continue dry at least in the first part of next week. Rainfall totals across the area for this Thursday, Friday event, mostly in the half to 1 inch range, slightly lower, maybe across the northern parts of the area. But beneficial nonetheless, not drought busting, unfortunately, but we'll take what we can get at this point. A wider view of the precip, kind of bringing some rain to areas that need it across the eastern half of the country. But like I said, not really in the drought busting range of things. This is just max wind gusts for this afternoon. Generally 20 to 25 miles per hour inland, but as you get closer to the coast, we could see 30, maybe 35 miles per hour in a few spots, especially from the Norfolk area on southward. Frost freeze risk tonight is highest across the northwest portions of our area, but we could see some frost as far east as 95 and potentially a little farther east than that. Growing season in the areas that are highlighted here, mostly our median first freeze date is usually around November 1st. And if we don't get below freezing in most of these areas, we will probably end the growing season probably the 14th or the 15th. Usually like to do 2 weeks past the median first freeze date. But we could see some colder temperatures as well again Wednesday night, depending on how quickly the clouds move in with that front. So could see some other areas with frost or freeze potential as we go into Wednesday night as well. Just to look at temperatures across the area, 50s and 60s today. You can see Wednesday, Tuesday and Wednesday mornings here in the middle. We do have some areas that are getting down into the low 30s, maybe potential for some upper 20s across the far northwest in Louisa County, but the growing season has already ended in those areas. Wind-wise, like I said, we're gusting out over the water today, 25 knots with gusts close to 30. Those should continue through much of today, certainly through today and the night tonight, but we slowly start to lose the winds as we get into Wednesday. We do have potential for additional small craft type threat as we get into the latter half of the week with that next cold front bringing the rain. So we could see a few periods of small craft conditions on the waters. This is just max wind gusts for the area. It's mostly going to be centered on today as far as the maximum goes. But like I said, it will continue at least small craft range as we get into Wednesday as well. This is just a quick look at the gusts. You can see today, Tuesday, 25 to 30 knot gusts. Then we kind of have a lull Wednesday and Thursday as that high pressure builds over. And then as we get into Friday and especially Saturday, could see some gusty winds once again. Coastal flooding could become an issue as we get towards the later half of the week with the high tide cycle a little higher than normal with the full moon. It's probably going to be on the order of minor flooding in most places. And that's, like I said, at least a few days away. And we'll be refining that as we go through the week. This is just broken down by day. Really not much of an issue here today and tomorrow. As we get into Thursday and Friday and potentially Saturday as well, could have some minor coastal flooding. The drought continues across the region. There will be a new update, I believe, today. Wouldn't expect a whole lot of change, maybe an expansion of the D1 and potentially D2 areas. We did see some beneficial rainfall over parts of the area this week, but not as much in the areas that are already in D2. So we'll see if we get some expansion of the drought on the next update. And looking ahead, looks like our above normal temperatures will continue near normal for precipitation outlook. Typically when we've been this dry, we tend to favor at least near normal or just slightly above normal rainfall and as we go into the next 2 weeks. And I'd be happy to take any questions that any of the attendees may have.